Carbohydrates and anti-aging might sound like an odd couple at first, like imagining pasta as the fountain of youth, but when you dig into the science, it turns out carbs may be less wrinkle-inducing villains and more quiet guardians of cellular health. For decades, carbohydrates were accused of everything from expanding waistlines to shortening lifespans, yet the evidence paints a far more flattering portrait. When eaten in their natural, balanced forms, carbs can actually reduce oxidative stress, stabilize energy metabolism, and help slow down the ticking clock of cellular aging. It's not about worshiping them as immortality pills, but rather appreciating their role as reliable allies in the long game of health. Think of oxidative stress as the body's version of rust. Our cells, as they produce energy, inevitably generate free radicals, those unstable little molecules that run around causing damage. Now, if our energy system is constantly pushed into metabolic extremes, like running almost entirely on fats or proteins for fuel, oxidative stress levels can shoot up. Balanced carbohydrate intake, especially from whole grains, legumes, and fruits, provides a steady supply of glucose that keeps the body's energy machinery humming along without overloading it. It's like keeping the engine well-oiled instead of forcing it to sputter and grind on backup fuel. This steady flow reduces cellular wear and tear, leaving our mitochondria, those tiny powerhouses of youth, less frazzled. The myth that carbs accelerate aging often comes from confusing them with their less noble cousins, the refined sugars and ultra-processed starches that behave like party crashers, spiking blood sugar and leaving chaos behind. But just because white bread acts like a troublemaker doesn't mean sweet potatoes or lentils should be thrown in the same cell block. In fact, the fiber and antioxidants in many carbohydrate-rich foods act like cellular bodyguards, neutralizing free radicals and supporting DNA repair. It's like carbs brought not only the energy but also the cleanup crew to make sure the party doesn't leave a mess. There's also the overlooked fact that longevity hotspots around the world, the so-called blue zones, are brimming with carbohydrate staples. Okinawans thrive on purple sweet potatoes, Icarians enjoy beans and bread, and Sardinians savor barley and pasta. These aren't low-carb societies hiding their carbs in shame. They are proudly carb-centric cultures whose elders dance, walk, and laugh into their 90s and 100s. If carbs were truly aging accelerators, you'd expect these communities to be packed with retirees complaining about sluggishness, but instead they're out tending gardens and chasing grandchildren. Clearly, carbs are doing something right. On a cellular level, balanced carb intake helps preserve insulin sensitivity, which is a huge factor in healthy aging. When insulin signaling works smoothly, cells absorb glucose efficiently without causing sugar spikes or crashes, reducing inflammation and keeping blood vessels youthful. Pair that with the anti-inflammatory properties of whole plant-based carbs, and you have a recipe for longevity that doesn't involve cutting out every grain of rice at dinner. It turns out moderation, not elimination, is the real anti-aging strategy. The funny thing is, humans often search for exotic, expensive anti-aging elixirs, mystical teas, rare supplements, or creams made from snail slime, when one of the simplest tools for vitality has always been sitting quietly on the dinner plate. Carbs, in their whole food glory, may not promise eternal youth, but they help create the conditions for a longer, healthier life, stable energy, less cellular damage, and more opportunities to enjoy the social joy of meals. After all, what's the point of living to 100 if you can't share a warm bowl of rice or a slice of sourdough with friends along the way? So, is it myth or science? The answer is that carbs are not magic potions, but when balanced and unrefined, they are very much part of the science of graceful aging. They keep our engines running smoothly, protect our cells from unnecessary stress, and fit beautifully into cultural patterns of longevity. If anything, the real myth is the idea that we should fear them. The truth is, carbs may not erase wrinkles, but they sure help power the smiles that make wrinkles worth having.